Hi everyone, it's me, Krylios, Team Rayceen Productions co-host and moderator. And joining me is the queen of the shameless plug, Rayceen Pendarvis.
Bam! Greetings and salutations, all.
Joining us is Cy Smith. Welcome.
Oh my goodness, thank you for having me. Hey y'all.
We love
Hello, it is such a pleasure to have you with us today. Thanks so much for joining us. And listen, always a pleasure to meet
Oh.
again.
See, I like what you did there. I like what you did there, Krylios.
Yes. So before we get into this new album, right, which is entitled Until We Meet Again, please tell the viewers a little about your background and who you are.
Okay, well, my name is Cy Smith. I'm originally from DC, y'all know. I live here in Los Angeles. I'm a recording artist. I've also sung background for a lot of different people. Whitney Houston, Shaka Khan, Eric Benet, Brandy, Genuine, like just a bunch of people. And I've released 5 albums in the past. This album makes my sixth.
Oh, wow. Congratulations.
Thank you so much. Thank
Yes. And Gracie,
you.
you have the first question to just jump us off into it.
I truly do. I'm going to take a sip of my liquid cup.
Ah! See, this is why you are Racine. Oh
And
gosh, I love it.
I love that. You know, this is one of my favorite cups, honey. I keep this on
Is
a
it?
special shelf, honey, because I don't want it to get broken.
I love it.
Some of your
That's
lovely
my
merchandise.
yes, my feeling good mug, which went along with my last single, Feeling Good, which I released in 2021. Y'all already know. Thank you so much for that.
Of course. And speaking of your new album, what is the inspiration behind the first single from your album?
Slide was the first single from this album, and the inspiration, the beat is so strong and heavy. I wanted to write something that wasn't as rhythmic as the track is, rather something that was a little more smooth and legato. So I imagined Marvin Gaye writing a song for Diana Ross. That's how I imagined it.
Mm,
So it's Marvin Gaye during his I Want You period. So
mm.
that's why it's very much like don't make me a liar. I said what I said. I just felt like that's something that felt like something Marvin might write for Diana Ross. And that's the
Oh,
inspiration.
oh, wonderful, wonderful. I love Slide so much. When I got to there in the album, I was like, oh, okay, this is what it's
Thank
giving. And
you.
I really feel, the slide of it, going down, the highway,
Yes.
like feeling that, that zhuzh. It's very much that. And it fits in so well where it is in the album. Let's talk about the
Thank
album,
you.
as a
Thank
matter of fact,
you.
including the title choice, Until We Meet
Oh,
Again. Tell us a little bit
yes.
about that.
Well, the album Until We Meet Again, it began years ago. Me and Zoe had started writing for this album probably in 2017. So songs like Always Pick Up For You, we wrote that in 2017. The title cut, Until We Meet Again, it appears on the album as an interlude, sort of us acknowledging my me acknowledging my ancestors who've
Mm,
transitioned, and not only my ancestors but friends and
mm,
just people that I've known along the way. And I thought that there was a need for that in our community, in our world. Like sometimes we're just taught to, get on with it, grieve and move on. But I think sometimes, even if it happened 30 years ago, it's okay to acknowledge that person and say their name out loud and
mhm,
allow yourself that space and that connection to reunite with somebody who's on the other side, and let them
mhm.
know you're still thinking about them. Um, but it appears on the album as an interlude, but it's actually an entire song that we wrote a few years ago. But we decided to chop it up and make it an interlude like that. The album was definitely born of me wanting to create something kind of beautiful, and Fonte, my executive producer, saying, to Zoe, why don't you produce a whole album on Psy? And Zoe said, okay, I'll team up with my new production partner, Tall Black Guy, to do that. And so they ended up producing the entire album, except for one song that I produced, which is Why Do You Keep Calling Me?
And that song is a read, by the way. That song, that one is a read.
Thank
And as
you.
you mentioned it, I know that you intend for it to be the second single, correct?
Right, that's right. It's,
Awesome.
it's a ballad, but or it's a, down tempo, but I think there's room for down tempos, in the world. So yeah, that's the second single. And people seem to really like it. So I think it's not just a read for me. I think it's a lot of people listening to it going, yeah. Why do you keep calling me? Is that you on my phone?
Why you on my phone?
I
I
tell
love
you,
it.
I love the album. I mean, I was listening to it
Thank
before,
you.
before you chimed in, and I
Oh,
was telling everybody how much flowers stuck out in my head.
oh,
Flowers
Mhm.
just,
thank
oh, I
you.
just, oh, flowers,
Thank
just
you.
like, oh, and then when I listened to the lyrics of Until We Meet Again, and then
Yeah.
I said, oh my God, this is like honoring, like you said, so many people who've passed on. And then I started
Yeah.
getting really emotional. Then I had to put on Summer '93.
That's That's my jam. Summer of
It's
93 is my
yes.
jam the house down. Hey, listen, when it comes to summer, I hope that becomes a summer single because it's exactly what you need as the temperatures start
Oh,
going up and people start being out and the days are longer and you're out in the night. That is what you need. And it's so nostalgic too. And listen, I was
thank
born in
you.
94, but the
Oh.
90s vibe, the 90s vibe gives me what I need. So it's even nostalgic for
Oh,
me. You know what I
I
mean? So
love it.
love it. Love it.
Listen, I love that you were born in 94 and this still brings some nostalgia for you
Mhm.
because it's not just about where I was in 93 and or it's about where we all were, And even if we weren't here on the planet yet, I think that nostalgia is a good thing because it makes people look back and see what's happening. It makes people kind of look into history a little bit, you
Mhm.
know look at old photo books and old coffee table books and maybe even read older books. Anything that gets people to dip back and learn a little bit. I'm happy to inspire that. So I'm glad that's your jam.
Oh, you
This
did,
is
you did.
it.
I mean, it just was a great flashback. I was like, oh, what was I doing in the summer of '93? What show was I in love, out of love, or just in loving life, honey?
Right, right. Your DC was popping in 93.
Yes, it
Man,
was.
oh my gosh, what a time to be outside.
Listen, and here's the thing too. So I started listening to this album. It came out Friday. I started listening to it on Saturday, and then Saturday
Okay.
night I watched this movie called Summer of '84. So I listened to that, and then the
Oh,
moment I
wow.
was done, I went back to listening to the album. Then Summer of '93 came up, and listen, I was just like, "Summer, come here right now," because this is the vibe that it needs to give. This is what I want to feel like.
I
So,
love
and I
it.
started added it to my summer playlist with Cruel Summer with by Banana Rama in there. Those are the summer
Yes.
jams that
Yes.
really, really get into that vibe, get into that season. That's where it is for me.
I love it. It's all about putting that top down and letting it ride.
Mhm. What?
Shout out to Tracy Lee who rapped on
Oh
that
yes.
MC'd his
Mhm.
butt off on Summer of '93. And he went to Howard with me. So we were both
Oh.
stomping the yard at Howard University in '93.
Amazing, amazing. Talk to us a little bit about the production, of the album. What was it like, getting in the studio, doing that, and you produced one yourself and everything.
Yeah.
What was it like, putting all this together, the different songs and
Yeah.
creating this fabulous soulful collection?
A lot of times, Zoe and I have been working together for years. You guys might know his name from the Foreign Exchange Collective.
Mhm.
Um, and Zoe and I have been writing songs and working together probably since, I don't know, 2010. you know. So he knows me very well. His production partner, Tall Black Guy, is a DJ from Detroit, and Tall Black Guy has a sense of sound that you can't really explain or teach in school. He just knows the dance floor. He knows what moves people, and he's a musician on top of all of that. So him and Zoe together, it's just a bananas production team. On top of that, Zoe and I wanted to put strings on a couple of songs. So we went up to his boy named Piranha Head from Detroit. Piranha Head is this brother, Maurice is his real name, but Piranha Head is his name. He's done strings for Victoria Monet, De La Soul, a lot of wonderful people, and he has his own string ensemble called Soulchestra. Soulchestra did the strings for Always Pick Up for You and for Slide.
Mm.
And you know, for an independent project to go get strings, it's a very ambitious and costly a costly dedication. But we believed in these songs so much that we were like, let's just do it. Let's just call Piranha Head and see if he'll do it and see how much it costs. And we just paid, you know, and it was worth every penny.
Mhm.
Um, the we also had like a 4-day writers camp. Me, Zoe, Tall Black, and Be My Fiasco, who was another young writer, recording artist on the Foreign Exchange label. She's super dope. So the four of us got together in Zoe's apartment up there in Wheaton, and just hung out for 4 days and created songs from scratch. So it wasn't like Zoe was sending me tracks. We built the songs from the ground up together, and I think that's what makes them so very special. You know, in with Zoe and I being right in the same room, and me going, I like that progression, but can we do this instead, or can we go back to that? You know, that kind of thing. So I think that's what makes the music really special. For the one song that I produced, Why Do You Keep Calling Me? I got my rhythm again. I flew to DC and got my rhythm section, Dre King, Dennis Turner, and Biscuit Bynum to record this song that I had written, I think earlier in 2020.
Mhm.
And I just sat at the keyboards and wrote it. But I knew that I needed the musicians I knew to flesh it out for me. We fleshed it out. It sounded great, but then I was like, I want to put strings on this too. So
Mm.
I called a lady here in Los Angeles that used to work with on American Idol. She was a violinist in the American Idol orchestra named Gina Kronstadt. And I said, Gina, would you be willing to take a listen to this song and maybe put some strings on it? You know, and now she's played for everybody. I'm talking about Earth, Wind, and Fire, Herbie Hancock, Michael Jackson, the Jacksons. She's played on some records. And I knew that she would know exactly what I wanted when I said, I want this song to feel like if Minnie Riperton were still alive and making music. That's what I
Oh
want it
Lord.
to be. And
Who is,
she
by the way,
said,
my favorite artist.
I
oh,
live for her.
listen. You and me both. I live for her. So Gina understood the assignment with extra credit
Mhm.
and hired some of the best string players here in LA, and they laid that song out.
Fabulous. Oh my God.
Yeah,
So it's so great you get to work with so many people, collaborate with so many people. Talk briefly about, some of the collaborations with Chris Body, with Sheila E., with Tracy
yeah.
Lee. Give us a little insight on how those collaborations came together.
Listen, I'm at the point now where I'm starting to call in my favors.
There you go.
You feel me? So I've been traveling and working with Chris Bodie for many, many years now. He's a fantastic trumpet player. That's actually an understatement. He is a sublime trumpet player. Um, and so I said one day when we were in the airport waiting in line to get checked in for a flight, I said, hey, Chris, I'm working on my new album. He said, anything you need before I could even finish.
Wow.
Before I could even
I,
finish
I I
asking the
love the.
question.
If I don't mean to interrupt you, but I love.
Oh,
Let me say, I saw you guys live one time, and
uh-huh.
the way he allows you to come out,
Oh,
and he showcases you and honors your gift in such a way that it is so complimenting to the
Oh.
whole showcase of the show. And not too many artists who, it's easy to say, okay, well, this is my show. I'm gonna let you do what you do. Y'all gonna sing background and that. But babe, he celebrates your artistry like
Oh.
no other.
It's very kind. It's very sweet, and I really appreciate it because I learned so much in his band, and I learned so much from him, just the way he curates a show. So I was thrilled when he said he would play on this song. And he, shout out to Gabe Johnson who recorded him. They really, I mean, that song, I can't, it's the most popular song on Spotify for me right now. It's gotten so many streams. It's crazy. Um, some of the other collaborators and features, of course, I mentioned Tracy Lee,
Mhm.
Dante Winslow, who did the horns for Summer of
Mhm.
'93. Dante Winslow has worked for Dr. Dre, worked with Justin Timberlake, Adam Blackstone, all of these amazing people, but he's from Baltimore, so he's a homie. He's part of the DMV too. So he
Mhm.
looked out for your girl. Sheila E., who has been a longtime sister of mine. Again, I was just calling in favors, y'all. I said, Sheila,
I love it. I love
can
it.
I would love it if you played on this record, and she did it, and really brought that song Masterclass to a whole new level. I feel like percussion speaks to us so specifically. And her hands have such a way of bringing that motherland feel to us,
Mm,
even if we've never been. She has a way, and percussion, when played by the right person, like Sheila, has a way of taking us home like that. And she really brought that thing home. Leo Amawedo is the guitarist on that song, and again, he's in the Chris Bodie band too, but he's a
mm.
master guitarist, originally from Uruguay, but also lived in Brazil for a very long time. So he brings that bossa nova feel to that masterclass song.
But
Yeah.
this album itself is like experiencing you live. So please tell us about your upcoming tour and what people can expect when they
Ooh.
experience you live.
Well, first of all, I love performing live. So every show is a little different. It's not something in the can. Um, but I will definitely be doing a lot of songs from this album. I'll be doing some songs from Sometimes a Rose Will Grow in Concrete and some of my previous catalog. But if you come to my show, just expect to um, to get to know me a little better. I think I leave it all on the stage and sometimes tell you more than you want to know.
I
But
mean,
what happens at, huh?
your live experience. I mean, I've seen you live so many times, and you know how some artists they look down and they going,
Right,
okay, I'm doing number one, I'm gonna hit number two.
right.
You are like baby, you feel the energy, and you be like, girl, get show number two is not gonna be like show number one. So if you saw me 8 o'clock, trust me, my 10 o'clock show is gonna be so much different. And you bring
Listen,
so much, and oh, it's
thank you
amazing.
so much. Thank you so much. I appreciate that so much. I bring a different energy to every show because every audience is different, and every
Mhm.
single person in the audience is like a molecule, making up this atom, and that
Mhm.
atom is never the same for every show. It's like a snowflake. Every show is different because every audience is different, and I enjoy having the ability to to be free like that on stage because everybody isn't free like that. Some people are so concerned with the set list and da 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 da. But if I feel like singing something and busting loose with something we haven't even rehearsed, I'm gonna probably do
Mhm.
it.
And I don't
I
blame you. But when
love
you talk
it.
about busting loose, I look every time. Who comes up with your concepts for your looks? Because every time I see
Oh,
your albums, your looks, you mistake. You are a
oh.
walking Vogue magazine. So who comes up with all these looks, dog?
Thank you so much. Well, for my live shows, I'm usually doing it all myself. And that's a matter of me going shopping in my closet. That's what I call it. I'm gonna go shopping and I just walk over to the closet and see what I got. But for this album cover, I was lucky enough I styled myself for the cover. I went to a place, I had called a stylist, believe me, because I didn't want the responsibility, but the person I called was really busy, and she said, "Listen, I'm gonna put you in touch with the place that I go to pull things. Go there." She was like, "Sai, you know how to do this. Just go there and put your looks together." And I was like, "Okay, all right." And so I went to the place. It's called the Trend House downtown LA, and and pulled together a bunch of looks. I called my good friend Matthew Brandon, originally from DC. He lives in LA now. He did my hair and makeup and did that thing, child. And my good friend who's been photographing me for years, Mike Quain, he
Mm.
shot the cover and shot all the looks that you see, for the cover and the artwork and all of that. So we had a good time that day. Yeah.
It
Wonderful,
shows. It
fabulous.
shows.
Thank you.
I love it. And for the DMV peeps, you'll be in the DMV March 7th and 8th at the legendary Blues Alley. So they will get a chance to see you there. So let the viewers know, first of all, they can get tickets, and of course, how they can listen to your music, see you perform live anywhere else, and learn more
Yes.
about you and what's upcoming.
Yes, if you take a screenshot right now and get that QR code, you can have that in your phone, and then you can just tap and hold the QR code, and that will take you to my big link, biglink.to/Cy Smith. On the big link, you can see my new album. You can get tickets for all my shows. It says See Cy Live. You can join my mailing list. You can see all of my socials right there at the bottom. But yes, come see me when I come to your town, whether it's Indianapolis, Columbus, Ohio, DC, Philly, Erie, Pennsylvania, Charlotte, New Orleans. I'm finally coming back to New Orleans after two decades of not having done a solo show there. Um, Houston and Los Angeles. I'll be in all of those cities, and I really can't wait. But take a screenshot right now because the QR code is your ticket to cyberspace. Get that.
Oh, I love it. I love it. So, viewers, go ahead, take that screenshot, and you can also look in the description below of this
hmm
video for the link as well. So, you can definitely go on over and get updated, get tickets, get music,
Yes.
and everything at this moment. So, go ahead and click that link in the description. Cy Smith, it has been such a pleasure getting to chat with you and kiki with you today.
Krylios,
Thank you.
Rayceen, I love you both so much. Thank you
We
for
love you.
having me. I hope I see y'all at Blues Alley.
Okay.
Yes,
Okay.
honey. Yes, honey. March 7th and 8th. We've had
Yes.
on our calendars.
Okay, good. I can't wait to see you guys there. You know, my father is coming to one of them shows. And
I know he will be right there, front and center.
Exactly.
Thank you so much. See
Thank
ya.
you so much. Until we meet again.
Until we meet again.
To those watching, please follow Team Rayceen on social media and click around our YouTube channel and check out our other interviews, forums, blogs, and more. And while you're there, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. And Rayceen, what would you like to say to our viewers?
Thank you for watching.